check it here. Yeah, my stomach gonna hurt. Ooh, hey y'all, who in here? Sorry y'all, I just want to get the chat. Ooh, now I gotta echo. How do I do that?
That's because you're running it at the same time. You gotta cut the sound on it.
Thank you, sir. Hey y'all, we got some people up in here. I know y'all was watching the versus battle, but we wanted to take y'all from there because we had some things we had to talk about, okay? So if you did not know, I've had a weekend. It's been my birthday weekend. So hey y'all, hey.
Yeah.
We are, Virgo season is in full effect, but I do want to know who in here, so please let me know, okay? Because this is a live chat. Like, I want us to be going through and talking this whole time, okay? Let me see. Oh, I see you, Gladys. I know. Don't beat me for doing a live during the verses. I started watching it. Girl, I was filming, so I was like, you know what? Let me just do what I got to do real quick. And I figured the best way to do it, because we didn't pre-record this, was just to come and talk mess. So it'll be here when people feel like watching. It's no pressure, but we're going to get into what we get into.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm here again with my beautiful fiance, Joe. I hope that you guys trickle on in and we could talk and get into it, or whatever the case may be. But we are talking all things Married at First Sight, okay? And Married at First Sight, we're on season 11, episode 7,
mm-hmm.
Okay? She said, okay, good. See, I got you, Gladys. I be knowing. I be just having to get stuff out the way, child. So, the honeymoon is over, okay? Hey, Dana Boo! Listen, come on in, baby. We are talking, the honeymoon is over. This is just a episode that just passed.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And they are back home. They have all landed in New Orleans and they are finally moving into their new apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we go straight into Bennett and Amelia moving in.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about y'all. Oh, Dana said she ready to talk some ish. Okay, Dana, listen. We about to get in because we had like a real... I rolled my eyes maybe 3,763 times.
Yeah.
So, I get a girl, and it was only an hour and some change. But what I'm hype about is that the experts are back. That like really makes me happy, or at least Pastor Calvin.
Pastor Calvin is back, and that's when we say experts, that's really who we talking about.
That's probably really who we talking about. But I'm really glad that he's back at the very least, and now they are moving into their apartments, and we can really start to get life started. So we start off with Amelia and Bennett. And obviously they are this amazing couple and we all love them. But I must say that like I had pause about starting with them because I feel like I'm tired of liking them. Like, I'm over it. Like, I'm just so tired. Like, we get it. Like, you want us to be, like, a part of this situation. You guys are great. And you love each other. And you're growing. And it's like, we need some drama. Yeah. We need some drama. At least a little bit. A little bit from them or whatever.
I mean, it's not even drama. It's just reality. We needed some reality because that's not reality. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's what Pastor Cal brought to almost everybody. Like, listen. Yeah. Especially mainly... you know, the couples that were really kind of coasting. So Bennett and Amelia and Woody and Imani, they both needed a reality check, and they got a well needed reality check.
But I do like that we first go through and look at everybody's houses.
Yeah.
They do. Bennett and Amelia do need to talk about those move-in issues and what
they need to talk about a lot, and that's what Pastor
This is going to be so all over the place, but what we do get is that when Bennett will say no, he won't give you an answer. Yeah. But if he's really okay with it being like, all right, we can go your way, then it's like he'll say that. But if it's like a hard no, he cannot just say, I'm not doing that, because that's what the hell he wanted to tell Amelia.
That's what he wanted to say, and I think he's trying to be a little too nice, and I think that's, what Pastor Kyle was trying to get out of him. But yeah, he's definitely being a little too, when he really wants to be stern about his answer, even though, he will couch it with pillows, even though he knows it's a hard no.
Right. And my thing is, like, that's all fine and good, right? But I just feel like he is meant to be a stay-at-home dad, because he really don't give a lot of, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of zhuzh to anything. So he's definitely meant to be a stay-at-home father. But I don't want him to get lost in the sauce. And he's kind of created this moment in the life for himself in New Orleans. And that's hard to, like, give up. But I want to get back to them actually going to each other's homes. Because I thought this was, like, a really big deal. You know what I mean? Like, we see... What I liked about seeing... I'm going out of order, but seeing Karen and Miles being in each other's prospective home is that I kind of felt like they kind of liked each other a little bit more. Like, I don't know if it was me, but I felt like they were touching and making cute little jokes, and it gave me a little bit of hope for them. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she, even though it doesn't look like it, is, like, really, really trying. You know what I mean?
I feel like I see Miles, like, putting in more of an effort to bring her into the fold. But I still didn't feel like she was really warming up to him. Like, a lot of times he'll do little funny stuff and she'll just stare at him. Like,
yeah, but I wonder if that's, like, her personality. But what I like, though, is that Miles is fly. And I really kind of like that, because he a big boy, and, like, well, he like a thickums. He not, like, big, but he a thickums. Uh-huh. And I like that he, like, got, like, a lot of clothes and a lot of shoes, and he has his own place. Like, that to me is kind of a big deal.
It's also pretty basic for most well-dressed black men. Like,
but he's 20.
More, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but
she was just making. She was making this whole.
I don't know if that's.
She was making this whole thing like. I mean, yeah, like, same thing with Woody. Like, Woody is a fashionable guy. He has a lot of clothes. He has a lot of, like, it's basic. It's pretty basic for, right. Like, fashionable.
But Woody live at home with his granny, and then gonna tell people that we split the bills and we roommates.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't remember him saying that. He said he split the bill with his grandma?
He said that they like more like roommates. That's his great. Like, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. But I'm certain that he said, like.
Damn, I didn't even catch that.
You know what I mean? See, Dana said she missed it too. I'm telling you that he definitely said that he lived in the house with his granny.
I mean, we know that because he said that his granny was cool with the girls. But so what y'all think?
He paying the bills?
I just didn't hear him say that. They was splitting the bills and they was like roommates.
So what's the alternative? He
I don't know. I'm just saying I didn't hear it. I just didn't hear him say that.
Okay, so my thing is this though. If you living at home with your granny is paying the bills, or she paying half.
I thought he was.
I don't know many men who live at home with their granny and then they paying all the bills, unless you like Michael B. Jordan or somebody.
I assume he was taking care of his grandma. You know what I mean?
Oh, so Dana said she didn't hear him say anything about the bills, but she did hear him say things about the roommate part.
Yeah, I heard it. Well, I heard him say.
So who paying the bills?
I heard him say.
This is semantics, but I want to know.
I heard him say that she was cool with the girls coming over and everything like that. That's really all I remember about.
The point is, he live at home with his granny. He well dressed. He did see that, and he live at home with his granny. Okay,
yeah,
that's the point. Like, my thing is, like, it isn't. It is an anomaly for a man to be it's sad, but to be of a certain age and they haven't progressed past a certain point. And that could be anything. It could be just that it's cheaper to live at home, whatever the case may be. And that's not a horrible thing. But I'm just saying, to see Miles living, doing his own thing, I was
talking about the fashion point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I wasn't talking. Yeah, no, because she was talking about how he had a bunch of sneakers and.
No, I said that.
Yeah. I was talking about the fashion part, not the are you taking care of yourself because you should be. You're an adult. That's what
I'm getting at is that, because you said, well, he should be doing all that because he is an adult, and I'm like, no, it's a lot of grown men who living in a car or they live in pillar to post, or they got, you know what I mean, don't got a window.
I didn't say any. That's not what I said. I said it's pretty basic that he has a lot of sneakers and a lot of clothes because he's a fashion
That is very basic.
Yeah, that's not. I wasn't talking about him being an adult and taking care of himself.
I'm not saying that to say anything because I actually really do love Woody, so I'm not even coming at him. It's just more like, you know, it's nice to see everybody's dynamic. So we move on to
pause. I was saying that to say Karen, because Karen made she makes a big. We were talking about Karen and Miles kind of warming up to each other, and I was saying that I don't feel like they were. Yeah. And I feel like it was more of the same with Karen, how she was making a big deal out of everything, and one of the things that she kind of made a thing out of was the fact that he had shoes. We got into a whole nother conversation, but that's what I was trying to say. Like it was
I didn't like that either, and I thought that was really like, why does that matter? Like, you know what I mean?
It doesn't. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's pretty basic. Like, I don't know why you were sitting there acting like, okay, well, you got, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, Chief!
Everything is a thing with her. You know what I'm saying? And it's like tiring. Like, man, like.
First of all, Karen is extra. Let's be clear. And I don't want to go all the way in Karen yet because I want to get through these living situations, okay? Because it's a bomb that needs to be dropped. So then we move on to Amani has her own place, which is great. Woody stays at home with his granny, which ain't bad at all or whatever. And then we move on to, what are their names? Brett and Olivia. This was fascinating. So, Olivia has a home and she rents it. She's in a better neighborhood in New Orleans. And it's a nice home for her. Okay? It's a cat lady's home. I want to be very clear about that. Mm-hmm. Women who own cats live in homes with little bitty antiques. Okay? And dusty old things. Yeah. So, like, that's just the facts. Like, that's not something I'm saying. That's the world, right? But she likes her home better. She feels like she's created this home. And when she went to Brett's spot, I kind of felt like she was being... Nobody knows why they matched Brett and Olivia. We still trying to figure that out, okay? Yeah. Because I thought she was being kind of shady. Oh, well, I feel like my house is more of a home. I mean, he got stuff everywhere. Sis, you rent. It's like the idea that you thought his mortgage is probably way less than whatever rent you paying for that house over there. So why wouldn't you? That's his problem with her, though. That's the budget issue. Because you silly. Like, you know what I mean? This is dollars and cents.
It's more...
She was so salty.
With what's her name? With Olivia, it's just more the same, again, with somebody else. More the same with her in the sense that she's coming into this relationship with this mindset of, this is what I do. Right. Let me tell you what I do, and you're welcome to join in or not. Right. And that's just not how you enter a relationship, let alone a marriage. Like, y'all are married, and she's constantly giving him like options, like, yeah, you can move in with me. Hey, Melinda. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do. You can move in with me if you want to, and it's and that's very off-putting. You know what I mean? It's very off-putting, and she definitely has like a complex. Like we were talking last episode about her making more money and how she didn't come off like. She didn't come off then, right? Like, she was like, oh, I make more money, and that's just that on that. But she also doesn't come off like, these are our finances. Everything is her and me. Everything is like, you know what I mean? Everything is like that, yeah. Yes, she was big mad. First of all, her dollars ain't making sense to Mr. Brett, okay? He was not here for it. And it's just like, I get that, though. And it's like, I don't understand how you can justify renting is better than owning unless you would think she had a fly ass loft with like a pool and all this fly stuff. Well, she said she just doesn't know how to budget. And she in the cat lady house. She got a lot of debt and she don't know how to budget. And it's like, that's... But she was honest about it. And that's how they really got into this conflict that they got into, because she was really honest about it and said, and the rest of the world heard her say, I'm not really great at this. You are, if you could help me do this, this budget thing. And he heard, I just want to throw money down the drain. Well, we won't get to that, but we want to move on to Christina and Henry. I really want to start a GoFundMe for Christina. It's very clear that sis don't got no place to live, okay? Yeah, that's that got to be the weirdest or she does have a place to live, and somebody else is she living with a whole nother man or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just super shady. Like, listen, she probably do It was weird.
She might have another man, okay? Because Henry don't look like the type that'll D you down no way. You know what I mean? Like, he don't look like the type that's going to do the thing. So, it makes sense that she would have a little something on the side. But my thing is, she got a lot of demands for a homeless person. You know what I mean?
It's just, it was super shady. And the fact that Henry didn't kind of lean into it more, like, they just kind of went past the fact that she was just like, oh, I'm just all over it right now. Like, what? Where do you live, sis?
First of all, she is definitely hiding something. Okay?
Yeah, it was like super shady. She hiding something for sure.
Fatima gonna say, I don't watch the show, but I bet she live in the trip. What? She might be moving that weight. I don't know, but she is an international woman of espionage because we don't know who the hell she is. Yeah. But she got an attitude about everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought for her to be like, when she moved into an apartment that she did not have to pay for a month or do anything, have no expenses, you just moving in, the furniture there, the pots is on the stove, the plates is in the thing, that she would have less to say. Yeah. Like, all that, like, these pillows, this, that. Do you even have pillows, sis? Do you even have any?
We need to know what's the
poor Henry is right.
We need to know what's the story behind this whole move thing, because she told him, they went to the flashback and she told him, yeah, I moved from California. And then it was like, so Henry is sitting there like, well, we had this whole other conversation where you were saying something completely different. Now you're saying like you don't really have a place and you all over the place and all your stuff is in your car. Like, what?
What kind of car is this?
Right. You got an 18-wheeler? Like, what you mean? Like, super shady.
I don't get it. Like, I feel bad for Henry. Yeah. Like, really super bad. But I'm also trying to figure out, like Brett and Olivia, why are they even matched? Right. I mean, not like Brett. Yeah, like Brett and Olivia. Why are they even matched? Like, I'm really trying to figure out what is there. And it's very clear as we move on that Henry is not checking for her at all. Okay?
He's not.
He sees nothing in the kid, and I really kind of concur. Like, I absolutely positively concur.
Yeah, he's not. He's kind of like, and he kind of confessed to Pastor Cal, like, I'm just not really feeling her like that. Like, the vibe isn't really there.
No, boo. He high-key said it. Yeah. He high-key said, I'm not checking for her. She nasty. She mean. I don't like her stank attitude. Yep. And she ain't even got it going on. Like, do you know how cute you got to be annoying?
Yeah.
Like,
that's what you're thinking.
Girl, like, no. And homeless? You annoying and homeless
and shady, because I'm sure Henry is not dumb. Henry don't believe she homeless. He believes she doing some shady stuff.
No, Henry believes that motherfucker homeless.
Because Henry, no. Did you see Henry's face? Henry was like, "This is weird." Henry thinks she hiding something too.
That's true. And you know what? He didn't even care to ask.
He didn't.
He don't care about her.
Yeah. The real truth is, he don't.
Henry put her down in a nice way. He do got a lot of crazy chicks around, which makes me think that Henry does like a crazy girl.
That's what I'm saying. He's used to somebody being more aggressive and pulling that out of him. You know what I'm saying?
No, now you're going to say, how can we blame her? Henry gives nothing. Henry gives absolutely nothing, but Christina gives way too much.
Yeah.
Like, too much.
Christina is super boring too, though. Like, I think Henry is used to being with a more like exciting, erratic, wild, aggressive woman. I.e., look at his friends. True. All his friends. They was talking about him throwing a party at the house, and she like, well, you wouldn't throw a party. I'm like, have you seen his friends? It would be Jones swinging from chandeliers in his house, and Henry would just be sitting there super quiet.
That's true.
Chill, like.
But Henry got a shoebox studio. But the nerve of her to call his studio small, and she homeless. These are things I really cannot understand. Like, y'all don't even be in a position to be talking about nobody. And y'all be really coming at them like the idea that that's something that you can resolve in your mind. And you know damn well you ain't got no home. Where you going, sis?
I don't know where she going, but I think she going to somebody's house at the end of the night. And I want to know whose it is, because I don't trust it.
Oh, you don't trust it? Okay. So we move on to... Nay said she definitely homeless. It's not up for debate. But she moved on to...
Or living with a man.
Which is also not up for debate. Which might be homeless, because it still might not be her house.
Oh, it's definitely not her house, because she just moved from California.
I'm so confused, y'all. I don't know if y'all are, but I'm so confused. So let's move into to Bennett and Amelia. Okay, so Amelia lives in a mansion in a really nice neighborhood, and she has
with 20 roommates, bro.
She has like 3 or 4. But did you see her space? Her space was big. She had like her own studio inside the house, and I was kind of banging with that. Like, I thought that was kind of dope.
No, this is not college, bro.
But I think that if you live in a certain area and it's expensive,
no, you're an adult and you're a doctor. She should be living in her own place too.
But this is all a part of her aesthetic. She's a fairy, so it makes sense to me that she.
Bennett is a fairy too, and he built himself his own crib.
Let me tell y'all something. Bennett is Jesus Christ, and it ain't up for debate.
Bennett got his own everything and built it by hand. Okay.
Oh, Deborah. I did not watch the matchmaking episode. Thank you for the background info. Deborah says, from the matchmaking episode, it appears that Christina looks like she lives with her mother. I don't know why she didn't want Henry to know that, because that's leverage. Because if he don't know that I ain't shit and I ain't got shit, he won't treat me like that. That's the real tea. Like, you know what I mean?
With her mother.
But if you're living with your mom, you just living with your mom. She's a flight attendant. It makes sense.
But why wouldn't she say that?
Cause she probably a liar.
That's what I'm saying. It was shady. Like, I'm sure you saw her living with her mom, but I'm sure that there is something behind this. I'm sure we're gonna find out about something.
Oh, Deborah's saying like most old mamas, you can't come into my house with these daggone cameras, because then I got to take the plastic off the couch. I gotta, you know what I mean? You gonna have to come in with your shoes off. I got to get the linoleum right. I can't be doing all that. So that makes sense. That does make sense.
That's possible.
I didn't watch that episode though, because now that we're not doing the initial interviewing process, I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
I kind of liked it. I felt like it slowed down this season a bit, but I still kind of like the trajectory that they're going. But talking about Bennett and Amelia, y'all. So you could tell Bennett was a little bit insecure about his living situation, because he was like, I don't know how she's going to feel about this. She lives in this big place, and I just had this little tiny house. And in true Amelia fashion,
she down for anything Bennett though.
She just was like,
she's just down.
It's just so beautiful. Like, he built this on his own, like this small space. I just was really like,
yeah, she's down for all things Bennett.
It was just really fascinating, right? Like but it took me back to Brett and Olivia, and how indifferent, that's a good word, look it up, how indifferent she was with Brett, and he had accomplished so much. He doesn't make near what you make, but his net worth is probably more than yours,
right?
Essentially, you know what I mean? Because he owns and everything like that, assets, and he didn't. And for her not to respond to him in a manner,
that's what he wanted.
You should be proud.
He wanted what Amelia gave Brett. Like,
he definitely wanted what Amelia gave.
But her attitude was that way because she's so stuck in this. Her attitude was that way because she's so stuck in this. You know, well, I'm not coming here. You can come where I'm at. I'm not coming here.
Right.
And so she can't. She's constantly operating in this singular mindset, this independent woman, like, I'm single mindset, and that's gonna be their downfall, part of it, because he adding to it too, but we'll get to that.
Oh yeah, okay. So Naya says she doesn't think Amelia planned on staying in New Orleans after school, and I don't think she did.
It's possible she did,
because she's moved a lot in her life,
and she said it like she low key said like, I'm moving again. You know what I mean?
Fatima says she already team Bennett.
Yeah.
She love handyman Bob the Builder for the win. He built a home, y'all. Like, house, yo. That's too much. That's too much. But I want to get into, now we can get into the Pastor Cal. Pastor Cal comes, everybody's moving their things in, and it's time to get real. And he begins with Woody and Amani. Okay?
Okay.
And so Woody and Amani obviously had this great chemistry, and they're talking to Pastor Kyle, and he recognizes it, but he wants to know, have they actually done the work? Like, are you talking about the things that you should be speaking about?
Right.
Or are you just glazing over things? And I think that this was a teachable moment. This is kind of why I like watching the show with Joe, because then we get to have these like real kind of conversations about like boundaries and stuff like that.
Make sure we don't have any issues here.
Oh.
Because this is live.
Oh.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh, okay. All right. What's
Go
that?
ahead. I just
Okay.
want to make sure you a little.
Oh, I was giving a little too much
A little.
thigh meat. My man wasn't with it, y'all. So sorry. But what was I saying? Woody and Imani. So Woody and Imani obviously has great chemistry and everything like that, which is awesome. But okay. But they have not been talking about things they probably should be talking about, okay? For people gonna say I want to see those thighs. They probably talking about things that they shouldn't be talking about. They haven't yet talked about. And I think that it was really important for him to be like, okay, it's all cute that y'all like in, but let's bring it on back. And I also didn't like, and this is why I be side-eyeing Woody for real. What I didn't like was how she was like, yeah, he wanted to make a baby on the honeymoon, all that. Ain't nothing funny about that to me. He don't even know you. Like, what is it about his spirit?
I am of the belief, I'm certain, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he was not dead serious with that. That it would be very scary and terrifying if he was. So I'm hoping that he was not serious about that.
I mean, I'm sure it was kind of a joke, but even to reiterate it made it not a joke.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. I mean, it was definitely weird.
Like, why? Like, what? Like a baby, but whatever. This is kind of like going into my fact that, like, I really do like Woody, but I also think he for everybody, and that I'm still waiting for him to, like, you moving the thing.
Oh sorry.
You gonna irk my soul tonight, Lord Jesus. Nope, too far. But this is why, like, I think that it's important to, like, have certain conversations with people and just, like, establish, like, what's important, what's not. Because the idea that he thought that was funny, what if she didn't think that shit was funny? Like, who is this nigga and why do he want, sorry about the N-word, but who is this man and why do he want to be like, why, what? Babies, we don't like, where's your mind at? And is your mind there with everybody? You know what I mean? I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. But we move on to the conversation about boundaries. And they were speaking about big decisions. And what is something that you would like your spouse to say, right? Oh, Dana says she think he heavy in the honeymoon phase. I think he heavy in the I'm going to say what I need to say phase.
I think he heavy in the honeymoon phase too.
What phase is that, boo? Tell me, Dana, what phase is that? Because he going to say whatever he got to say. But what I did like was they had the conversation about whether or not, like, boundaries and what was important to you. And he made a point to say, I can't be in a situation where I don't like surprises and I don't want you to come and there be some old new stuff and I wasn't privy to that.
Right.
He said, for example, if you decided, he brought the example up, if you decide you're going to cut your hair, I feel like that's something we need to talk about. Right. So let's talk about it. So his delivery could have been received a certain way where she did not understand the full scope of what he was saying. Okay? Can I say that?
Yeah.
So I do understand how she was initially like, what? Like, you ain't gonna tell me how to do my hair. Like, I don't know about y'all. I change my hair a lot. But it's important for me personally to be desirable. That's just I know that sound weird. And like,
it shouldn't sound weird. You should always want to be desirable to your spouse, men and women alike.
True.
You know, like, that
True.
shouldn't
That's
be weird.
Like, but I don't want to sound like I'm like leaning into misogyny. What I'm basically trying to say is that
it's not misogyny to want to be desirable to your spouse. You know what I'm saying? That's also a respectful thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I know when you first got with me, I was 185 pounds. I can't just balloon to 250 and not think that it doesn't affect how you desire me or not keep you in mind and be like, all right, let me. You know what I'm saying? Let me get back on my job. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just a respect that you should have for your spouse, and you should care about their feelings and what they like.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it is such a permanent change. And Dana and Fatima agree that it's not a weird thing. Like,
it's not.
I don't think it's weird to consult your spouse. Like, I ask my men about my wigs all the time. Like, should I wear this one? Should I wear that one? You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't think that that's a big deal. But I know that there was a population of people, and we mostly wig wearers over here, so we might not have that kind of feeling because we changing our hair all the time any damn way. But I do think that there is a population of people that feel like, he can't tell me what to do with my hair. That's I am my own person, when. And you are. let's be clear, you are. But I do think if he cut his beard today or tomorrow, I'm gonna be like, what is going on around here?
Yeah, like
you know what I
mean? And I think the thing was that the reason why Pastor Kyle was sitting there, because she looked at Pastor Kyle like help
and he wasn't gonna say a damn thing.
He wasn't gonna say a damn thing.
Because if his wife cut her hair, he gonna have something to say.
But not only that, he alluded to it afterwards. But the construct of your marriage, of your relationship, is strictly between 1 and 2. So if it's an important thing to your husband, it should be an important thing to you.
And that's what I think what they were trying to get at. Now you're going to say, India Arie said, I am not my hair. Don't come on. Oh, I ain't even going to get started on India Arie, y'all, because I wasn't some people out there.
But the main thing I think that Pastor Kyle was getting at, it wasn't about the hair. It was about the fact that your man is telling you that something that is important to him, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's communication before you make decisions.
And
it's not about the
hair.
It wasn't about that. The hair was just an example.
And that's what and he was just giving an example. You're absolutely right. Fatima said, if you cut your beard, I open up my Tinder account. She said, I'm back on the market. You can cut that beard if you want to, okay? But I'm going to be right at the shop, right? Okay? Like, on the market. So, no, but I agree with what he said. But what I didn't like was he shared a really personal story about the young lady that he used to date getting an abortion and how that affected him. And then it was like, then Amani saw like, oh, that makes sense. When to me, it's like, the man just asking for you to communicate with him.
That's it. It shouldn't be.
He didn't ask you for a lot. He didn't have to tell you that back in the day, somebody did some foul shit to him in order for you to show up.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have to be the basis by which you make decisions in your relationship.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, Ryan just rolled his eyes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that should be the basis, and I don't think that's okay. And I do feel like all of these people are from mostly fractured relationships, right? Can we agree to that? And because of that, the way they may be dealing with things in those previous relationships, they just bring it in here and doing the same thing, right? Because they haven't gotten their legs here and they really don't know their spouse. But I'm sorry. I'm reading what Deborah's saying, y'all. Right. Deborah, you married? Bust down. We want to know, are you married, Deborah? Because you're speaking like a word, honey. So, you know what I mean? But it does impact the both of you. Anything you do impacts the both of you. Like, you know what I mean?
100%. It's funny because our marriage counselor was just saying, there is nothing singular. Every decision you make, everything you do, he said, everything you do is going to affect the other person.
Yeah.
So all of that, and that's what I don't like about Olivia's mindset. You know what I'm saying? In general, just going back to them, because she operates a lot in the singular. Like, this is what I do. You can do it if you or not. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so, like it's but Deborah, you hit the nail on it. Yeah.
But this is going to Brett and Olivia. So they had a cute little tiff in front of Pastor Kyle. And what's clear? Let me say this first. What's clear that they have no chemistry and no intimacy at all. And when I mean intimacy, I don't mean like busting down on somebody as much as I mean like, physical touch. Like, I touch my spouse. I like, you know what I mean? Talk to my spouse. We have these in-depth conversations. I don't think that they have any of that.
No.
And I'm saying that because it's very clear that Brett responds to Olivia defensively. And he feels small around her. Now, I could attribute that to him feeling small in real life. She ain't got to do with that. You know what I mean? That's probably mostly him anyway. But she's trying to make a point to say that, okay, there's certain things in my life I want to experience, and I wanted to get married so I can experience that with my spouse. And I think that makes 100,000%, sense to me. But he said, what did he say? Well, if you gonna pay for it, I'ma go.
Yeah, like a more singular mindset. Like, y'all married, so when she's spending money, she's spending your money. When you spending money, you spending her money.
But Dana, did you feel that? Dana said the way they were sitting on the couch was off. But did you feel that I felt like they must have had a tiff before he even got there. Like,
I feel like when they
30 years, Miss Deborah, come on through.
Yeah, all right. So, but when they first started filming them, like shooting them in this episode, what did I say? I said, look at her face. She just done. Like she, you know what I'm saying? And it's just because I think of this tug of war that they have that is a running thing. I think it's just a running clock of this tug of war, and she doesn't look happy. And
but let me ask you this. This is a question, y'all, and I want y'all to answer this in the comments. Do y'all think that if you make more money than your spouse, you're allowed to be the head of the relationship? Like, I know this is like, gender roles is such a fascinating thing, so that's why I'm asking this question. But it's like, do you think that finances dictates that you're the head of your household? You know what I mean? Because I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that there has to be a space for people. I believe that the man from McDonald's will provide you what you need. You just gotta have a good man. You know what I mean? Or the man from Walmart, he gonna give you what you need, baby, if he a good dude. But if he not, then you want a stingy mug is a stingy mug. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It really don't matter. He can have a whole lot of money. It really doesn't matter. Right. But I think that sometimes as women, and this is not to come at women, we've kind of had to like be the leader in our relationships for so long that we don't know how not to be that person. And then we lead in that work, and we lead in here, and we're leading there. And then you come into a space with somebody and you make more money than them, but you don't have more than them. But you make more money than them. So in your mind, you're allowed to say what you're not going to do. And I think that that's a bad way to come into a situation with a stranger, period. What I'm not going to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's that's not even a way to, it's a lot of what I'm not going to do with Olivia. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of like, oh no, I didn't want that. I didn't want this. I didn't want, like, all right, sis, what did you want? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? What do you have? What have you been provided with that you see potential in? Like, it's more that for me. And I feel like I liked Olivia in the beginning. Yeah. And she kind of showing her colors. Yeah. I mean, they both kind of showing their ass a little bit. They doing a lot, but I think Brett got teeth for that fever, because when he turned up on her on the couch, like, you lied. Brett and the outburst on the couch was just so uncalled for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for him to be completely coming at her with a different energy that she was coming at him, because she was just saying something that she's been saying for 7 episodes of like, I got into this because I love to do these things and I want to experience these things with my spouse. Right. So for you to be like, have you ever seen a budget? Like, for you to be coming at her and she's not even giving you that same energy was just weird to me. But again, just more of them on a race to the bottom. So a race, we always talk about that. Yeah. Like, well, we're not going to do this will not be a race to the bottom. Because, you know, Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. I don't believe that. I'm going to get right down to the flow with you. So you can go ahead and do something you don't want to do, and I'm going to be right there with you like one of those. Like, because Beyonce's still working on me, y'all. Beyonce's still working on me. But Fatima says, I don't think money dictates leadership. Everyone has their strength. And I agree completely. And I think that we have gotten to a place in society where we're of the opinion that money dictates leadership. We do that with Kanye West, because Kanye West got a lot of money. Kanye West is obviously a genius. No. Yeah, like, no, he's not. He's not. Clearly not a genius. Donald Trump got a lot of money, so obviously Donald Trump is a genius. And it's like, no, they're not. And it's like, you know what people say? I'm going to go to the subfloor. Why is she like this, y'all? But you know what I mean? Like, I think that we as a society have designed this, like, construct where if you got money, you the smarter person, so therefore you should lead. And that's just not the case, y'all. Yeah. That's just not the case. You know what I mean? And I think that that's where Brett and Olivia is going to fall off. And I'm kind of a bit over them. They on the bottom. They have successfully replaced Henry and Christina for me they are very comfortably in last place. So talking about Henry and Christina, they meet with Pastor Kyle, and they speak about his inability to be affectionate and the lack of chemistry with her. Because what Pastor Kyle asked, and I thought this was a poignant question, when you have these explosive relationships with other people, what does that look like? How did you get there? That's a question you gotta ask. And he like, oh no, I don't know. He was like, it just ain't. He was like, I just know it's not this. That's really what he wanted to say. That's literally what he wanted to say. But did y'all notice the twitching? Do men lie?
Yeah, he was so uncomfortable. You could, and I've never seen it that like I've seen him twitch to have a little tick, but it was like firing on all cylinders, and that's how you knew he was super uncomfortable.
He was either uncomfortable or lying through his teeth, like, "Oh, she's all right. She's
yeah,
pretty.
How about that? Yeah,
I think
she's pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to make fun of him, but you know, that's kind of what it was.
Because you're lying.
It was like maybe this is tell, like you know, like
exactly. And it's like also when y'all was interviewing him, did y'all notice that he had this? I don't want to call it a tick.
I know. I don't think they did. I think he was just talking, like, you know, because when Miss
Deborah, you watched the interview process. Was he ticking?
When you see Henry around the other couples, he's another one. Him and Miles, when you see them around other people, you're like, oh, they're different. Their whole vibes change, and I noticed that with Henry. So I think when he was talking to production, he just was just they probably was like, oh, yeah.
And now he like, this woman is horrible. She is Cruella de Vil.
Yeah.
And I don't know how she eats puppies for breakfast, and I'm not with it.
And that's how he feel.
I think Henry likes nicer. She's just not a nice girl.
Yeah.
Nothing about her seems nice.
And she's very blah and mellow tone.
But did y'all hear her talk about how, I'm just used to men being like all over me. And I'm thinking
like, what men? Where they at?
Where they at, sis? The one you living with because you ain't got no place to live? Where he at?
Yeah, like what?
First of all, Salima said, I don't think he is invested in this. He's not. But he said, guys, that it's just hitting him the magnitude of this decision. Yeah. And it was very clear to me that Henry signed up for Beat Bobby Flat. And not like, that's what Henry signed up for. Henry thought he was going to be cooking some things up. You know what I mean? He might win a little prize at the end. He didn't sign up for Married at First Sight. That's not what he was signing up for.
And watching this show for a couple of seasons now, every season I feel like there are people who were committed to the process under the condition that it was a person that they wanted to be with, or under the conditions that it was a person, and then as soon as they meet this person who is not who they were dreaming of, they committedly hit the emotional and mental eject button, and they're no longer into it. Yeah. And so I think Henry is just season 11 version of that person.
Yeah.
Like where he seems like going into it, he was down. And then they meet the person and they're not really trusting the process anymore because they're like, I'm not feeling this person. And then they kind of eject. We've seen it. Every season that I've watched it, I've seen at least one or two people that's like that.
No, that is consistent across the board. That's like very clear. You're right. But Henry don't strike you at a little bit more on another planet than like.
I think he is. I think because he checked out to me.
I'm like, where are you at, Henry? Where are you at?
But he's not. But how about this? Whenever you ask Henry about other couples that
he on it.
Because that's what I'm saying. Guess what he checked out of? Christina. He checked out of that. But he's very awake. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder what she smell like.
Huh?
He just seems so averse, like he just has an aversion to her, like
like I think most
people do.
You know what
I mean?
I think most people do.
So it just makes me wonder. But that question Pastor Kyle posed was like, you know, I think, or what the statement that he said with that, I think that if you responded to Christina with a certain amount of rah, she would respond, and he was not.
He's just like, I can't. He just like, I can't. It's not. It just. I can't.
Won't work.
I can't do it with this one. Yeah.
Oh, Miss Deborah says she don't remember him ticking, but his eyes were definitely adverse. He ain't feeling her, and he don't know how to say that. And I think that's really fascinating that we're getting into this place with these men who don't know how to like advocate for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think he is one of them. Like he just is just unable to speak and say exactly what it is that he does and does not like.
Yes.
For fear that he's gonna, I guess, hurt somebody's feelings or just conflict.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I mean? But I think she gonna start beating on him, y'all.
Not beating.
I do. She gonna get real, like, if you, what? Tell me what you saying. Like, she gonna get real, like, frustrated. I can see it happening. I think she's gonna start beating on him.
I do. She too. Blah, blah, blah.
I do. Like Michael and Mika. Well, Michael was a liar. I don't know if y'all saw last season.
I say he was a liar all season though.
You did. Michael was a liar. He lied like dead dogs, and it's just like really sad. It was really sad. But that's a whole nother video.
It is,
because we could go in on them, but we want to get into Amelia and Bennett. Amelia and Bennett. They were speaking about. They came together with Pastor Kyle, and Pastor Kyle was like, you know, they were talking about the kind of life that they want to live. Have they spoken about wanting children? And he spoke about how he was averse to that at first. And he understands that if he's with somebody, that he might have to make certain decisions for the group, for the life of the relationship, and not just his own. So I really enjoyed that. And then, you know, he went on to say he wouldn't mind being a stay-at-home dad who took care of the kids, and he wants to be a writer and a songwriter anyway. It would just give him more opportunity to do that and play with kids all day. And she just was like, isn't he so perfect? And I just was like, I melted. But I'm starting to think also, and this is just to be devil's advocate, y'all. Do y'all think that Amelia is a little too optimistic?
Oh, 100%. And that's what Pastor Kyle was saying to her.
I think she's a little
because also, but Bennett doesn't help, because also Bennett is another one who just keeps leaning in. He keeps conceding and keeps conceding and keeps conceding, and also not really advocating for himself. Just everything is great, and then even when he's, again, like we said, questioned on something that he feels firmly about, he sidesteps it. Right. So it's funny because this is kind of a running theme now in the show. Bennett, Miles, Henry, kind of like these guys not really being able to advocate, like you said, to advocate for themselves, and kind of just wanting to just get along to get along. Yeah. And I'm glad that Pastor Kyle came in there, and we'll get to it with Miles, and basically said, like, bro, you got to advocate for yourself, because this marriage ain't gonna last if it's about everybody but you.
And that's a fact. But I want to get to these comments. Fatima said she don't know about a motherfucker not working. She gonna say work. She don't know. You know what though? I'm kind of. I stayed at home. So when I first moved to LA, I was a stay-at-home spouse, and I was home for 2 months. Mm-hmm. I didn't work for 2 months, and
that's different though. Like,
you think?
Yeah, like I don't care if you never work for real. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on the life. And we live in an expensive city, so
right. And we live in a super expensive city.
But you know what I'm saying? Like it's you know, I guess that's another dynamic of like however you see your relationship going, or however you, because I wouldn't care. Obviously, if I wasn't working, that would be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like you would care, and you should. I wouldn't care.
No, this is my thing. I think that there's something to being passionate, and Bennett is passionate, Fatima. So that's why I think that it's okay that he doesn't keep a conventional full-time job, because he's passionate about something. So it's not like he's not at work or being a busybody. He built a home. Who knows what he can do in his time? You know what I mean? So it's like,
but she's also, like, you call her like a fairy, like a unicorn, and she's like, yeah, whatever. Like,
she's also she prefers a man who will do that. Like that's what she wanted. Yeah. Like, let's be clear, she wanted a man who would be
but he's also conceding there too, because he said, I'm down to do that if you want it. It's like he keeps doing these things, which is why I think he's like, I'm not budging on the moving thing, because what more do I have to give? Like, what more do you want from me? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Not Tyrese's voice.
Yeah.
I think that though, I think it's deeper than not wanting to move, and it's more that Bennett has created and insulated himself in his community, and he's been able to not work, to Fatima's point, and to not do anything and still have a thriving full life. Mm-hmm. And going somewhere else and creating community somewhere else is hard. Mm-hmm. That's hard. I know personally, I've moved, and it's like, and I'm 2 years in and just feeling like, all right, I got my people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think that, like, I get him, and I work. You know what I mean? Like, every day. And I think that fear of not knowing how to move in certain situations, or have never been in those certain situations, he's never moved either. Mm-hmm. That has something to do with it as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think, though, contrary to what people are saying, I think that as they grow, he'll get more comfortable with it. I think it's just got to be like, he got to be more trusting of her.
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing. Like it's a massive thing.
Yeah, because that's one thing he keeps saying. He like, I don't really know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why he keeps saying, like, I don't really know her like that. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And I think that's why he keeps saying that.
Wait a minute. I can't wait for Tima comments, y'all. I don't know if y'all read them, but y'all should. She gonna say, a man should work at something. He could be the writer, but I want to see a few chapters. We gotta read something, baby. I got to be the editor and the publisher. I got to make sure this is coming through. So Salima said, she is a doctor, so she does have to make certain decisions, and he ain't gonna have no other choice unless he become a goddamn doctor too. So.
How about that?
Listen, but you gotta talk heavy. Like, if you're gonna be talking heavy, you gotta be moving heavy too. So, but Dana says, my mom was a stay-at-home mom their whole lives, and I feel like if you can afford it, and a home person doesn't lose himself, it's fine. I think the same thing. I think the same exact thing. And
again, going back to like the message from Pastor Cal, like what's going?
I can't let the team stop these guys. What? She gonna say, if the typewriter code, I'm freaking heavy. Cause you lying.
But again, going back to what Pastor Kyle, the message from Pastor Kyle, like the dynamic of your relationship is constructed by the two people in there, right? So if Amelia is like, I want a stay-at-home, husband, and Bennett is like, I want to be a stay-at-home husband, that's a perfect union,
right?
Because it's what you two, what works for you too.
Absolutely. But now we can get into Karen and Miles. I didn't intentionally leave them last to talk about this, but it kind of just happened that way. Mm-hmm. So Karen and Miles sits down, and they are speaking about their lack of intimacy, their lack of touching, their lack of kissing, their lack of hugging, all of that, and how have they been feeling? And Karen immediately says that she does not feel like she's married. And
I immediately roll my eyes again for the 5th time watching them in this episode.
Yeah. It what's fascinating, and this is like a running theme in this kind of season, is that these people the show has been on now for 11 seasons, right? And they are all making a decision to marry somebody blind. And this is to your point that you made earlier. But then it's like, you get married and you feel like you're not married. And you signed up to be married at first sight. But it's not real. Like, I just don't understand. But I also think that people have a way of holding you hostage with their feelings. So because I've got feelings about things, then I can treat you however I want to treat you, and you're supposed to take that because I got feelings. I do it to him all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I do. And it's something, I'm working on it or whatever the case may be. But these are like, this is toxic. This is a toxic behavior. And I think that the only thing I thought Pastor Kyle could have did more was push back a little bit more. And I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying a couple episodes. What?
I thought somebody was in our house.
That's what I was saying. Nobody is here. That's what I was saying, a couple episodes ago, when I was saying, like, I need Pastor Kyle to bring the same. It was last episode because I knew he was coming back. And I said, I need him to bring that same energy and hold the women accountable like he holds the men. And I feel like he pulls punches a lot. And the problem is, he's really the only expert there that be really giving people tea for their fever. Like, no one else really holds anybody accountable. But we don't see her. We don't see her anymore. So it's literally just Pastor Kyle. And I just wanted him to really like push back more on that, and we aren't seeing it. But part of the reason why Karen is feeling like she's not in a relationship, like she's not married, is because she's constantly affirming the fact that she's not married. You're walking around, you're calling your husband the stranger, my stranger,
we got stranger
will
bracelets.
Be stranger bracelets and all of this stuff. You're constantly affirming your singleness. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's part of the problem.
No, you're absolutely. But I would argue that Salima said that she's self-sabotaging, and Salima
100%
up for debate.
100%.
Dana said she put more effort into being present in a relationship. She would, and instead of trying to sabotage it, she wouldn't have these issues. And
stop burbling.
It takes effort to be negative.
Yeah.
It takes less effort to just be present and just go with the flow and figure it out. And I think that the excuse that you have been so hurt is tired.
Everybody been hurt.
tired.
Like, come on.
But let me tell you what I think the real tea is, y'all. Get your cups out. Okay. What I think the real tea is that she was with the guy, okay? She said she was with the guy for 4 years. She said 5 years in the previous video, but we're gonna let her have a 4. Okay, so she was with the guy for 4 years and he had a baby. But what I think happened is they tried to get back together.
I wouldn't be surprised
that he had a baby with somebody else. And she continued to get her feelings hurt. That's just some tea I'm going to drop. I don't know if it's the truth, but that's the story I want to tell. Okay, so like, but I think that she still wants that guy. Despite
I think
the
that's
fact
why
that
she's here. She's the guy from last season who I think that's why she's here, because the reality of it is at this point in life, all y'all 30 something, 30, you know what I'm saying? Everyone's been hurt. Everyone's been hurt in some type of way.
And you might have been hurt with the mug you with right now.
So the reality of it is, if you are not coming into this process ready to love and ready to be vulnerable to it, don't come into the process. Go home. Because everybody's been hurt. So if you here determined to hold on to your hurt, you're wasting everybody's time.
You're wasting production, everybody's time. Angela said Karen need therapy.
That's a fact.
Deep therapy. I don't even think Karen know who she is, because the ability.
And she's not over this other relationship. And you trying to be in a whole nother relationship.
She not. And I don't even know. She don't want to give too much for the camera. And you want to know why, Naya? Because she still got the other boy in the tub.
Because the boy watching.
He watching. He watching. Yeah. That's why. Like, you know what I mean? That's like the real tea. I just don't. My issue with Karen is, moments like this ruin people. When you are in a relationship with somebody and you are constantly giving and giving and giving and giving, and then that person don't do nothing, they give you nothing, they pay you dust.
Yep.
That affects you so deeply. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so deeply. And the way you move in the future, with them or with new people or whatever. And I think that Miles is a good guy, but this is also the issue that I'm having with Miles, and Pastor Kyle said this. Like, you're so ready and able to be like, oh, whatever she wants, but what do you actually want?
Right. You gotta advocate for yourself.
Right. And listen, Miles is this is where Miles is immature to me, because I do believe that there's something to trying to get somebody to be comfortable with you and everything like that, but I also believe it's okay to be like, this, you need to show up in this relationship.
Yeah, 100%.
I just got aired out. Let me tell you something. When was my birthday? Sunday? Wednesday night, I got aired out. Okay, so
I don't know why she be telling people
I got aired out. Okay, and it was just you gotta be present. Like, you can't allow me to give, and then you just like.
Yeah. And I think Miles is part of him being green. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to call him immature, because I think he is very a mature guy.
Okay.
I think he's green. I think he's super green. Especially obviously being in this situation, like they all are. But especially in being in a predicament where he has to speak up for himself and he has to advocate for himself. And he's such a people pleaser. That's what I get from him. And I get that it's almost to his detriment, and he's doing it now where Pastor Cal had to say, wake him up and go, listen, bro, you have to, it's two people in this relationship. It can't just be about her, because then you'll grow old and resent her, and the relationship will burn to flames.
It's good. And the issue that I had with Miles, and Angela said Miles needs to know what he needs out of a relationship, and you're absolutely right. Because Miles is the type of person who's in a burning relationship, and he's still in the house.
He's still in the house, smiling,
he burning down
the floor.
With it. Fire? Where?
Yeah,
what you mean? Like, that's really what's happening here, and I think that, like, I think it's very unfair that everything is about this last situation. I think it's unfair that you even brought it up, Loki. Like, I think that, like, you should have dealt with that with you and your
I think
guy.
It's unfair because you here,
right,
and you're clearly not over that situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You sitting here crying about a whole nother man, and you married. You've been married to this guy for
sitting up here crying about a whole nother man.
You clearly still messed up about this, like, situation. You know what I'm saying?
And then you will hold him. How many times? Hey, we gotta stop pretending like y'all not out here read and think like a man and stuff like that. Okay? Because you know what I mean? Like, let's not fake it. Like, Steve Harvey ain't come through and tell y'all some BS about how y'all supposed to act with men or whatever the case may be, and y'all wasn't listening. So why would you think that you bringing the baggage to a brand new relationship with somebody you have no idea who this human being is would make for a healthy relationship.
Right.
I just need to know if this is the real you. Bitch, is this the real you?
How about that?
Because, like, who is you? Like, you know what I mean?
But you question everything he does, so you don't even give him the chance to. You don't give him the chance to show him the real him. Everything he does is, oh, well, is that just the honeymoon you? Are you gonna stop doing this later? Like, you question everything he does, and then you constantly put this toxic bubble around a relationship of, well, I don't know you. We still strangers. I just met you. I don't know you. We still strangers. You're constantly like, I feel single.
And when Pastor Cal said, y'all not strangers anymore.
Yeah, stop saying. Also, stop
saying.
Y'all
done slept in the bed with each other for 10 days. Maybe we don't know because they cut the cameras off. So
yeah, who knows?
Was like, I ain't doing this.
Who knows? Who knows? But also stop saying it because words matter. So stop walking around here saying, I don't know you. You're a stranger. I don't know you. I'm just hoping that
this is the foundation for growth. Because as much as Karen really, to my core, just annoys my spirit, I want her to be happy. I want Miles to be happy. And I kind of want them to be happy together. And I want her to see the value in him because I do believe he's a value add. I really, really do.
I think Karen is too far gone, and I think Miles is going to get help. So what your point was? I'm sorry. I forget the name who said it. She has a lot of solo searching therapy, self a discovery to do on her own, and she's not ready to be in a relationship with a whole person and a whole nother man. She's just not.
I'm just not. Miles, where Miles' mama at? We're going to have to go get the Vaseline.
Yeah, go get
and take the earrings off.
Bring them back. She said bring them back.
Throw the wig to the side. Let me help you out, sis. But Samuela, I hope I'm saying your name right. I feel like Miles knows what he needs, but is scared to express his needs because he doesn't know if Karen can provide them for him. I think that you're absolutely... First of all, he does know that she's not going to provide them for him. That's why he does not say what he needs. Mm-hmm. He know that whatever... He know that he want kisses and hugs and to be rubbed on. Did you hear that child say, I got to get used to somebody walking up to me and touching on...
And like, loving you?
And hugging me from behind and stuff. What kind of sad existence...
Like you used to a man.
You was with a man for 4 years. He ain't do none of that. Like,
but not only that, he dogged you out. So now you got to get used to a man treating you the right way.
I can't.
That's what we saying.
Yes.
Come on, bro.
But you know what, y'all? And this is so off topic, but I'm gonna bring it up anyway, because this is what we do. I told back in the day I was gonna write a book. I really want to tell y'all the name of the book, but I still might write this book, so I'm not. But the point of the book was, I hold a lot of secrets and people tell me a lot of things. And I just was going to write like a superhead novel where everybody stupid stories about being bum bitches. And I mean that in the sheerest sense of the word. Because we as women sometimes make decisions. And it could be even a situation like this where you with a good guy. You wouldn't know a good guy if he dragged you through the house. You wouldn't know. You would be like, what is this drop dead Fred? What is going on? You know what I mean? But or you could just be not a good person and you still a bum his bitch, right? It's certain spectrums of this. But what I'm getting at is that we all go through this space where we're not in the best place as women, right? Or we provide far too much to people and they not give it back. Or we are self-sabotaging. All people do it. But especially women, because we're typically people who give a little bit more. And I think that Karen is just in a phase. She like in stage 3 of her bum bitchness. Like she about to be, metastasizing and it's about to be spread all over her body if she don't figure it out. But right now she's still treatable. And we can really get her there if we take some time and work on her. And I really just think that's what it is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I really think that that's where she got to get to the place where she's worthy. Mm-hmm. Even though I think it's some BS and I don't believe that. I just don't think she like Miles.
She didn't. But she declared that on the wedding day. That's the thing. She declared it on the wedding day. And again, words mean the minute she started, he's not my type. This not going to work. Guess what's been happening? Downhill, race to the bottom since episode 1.
Right. And it's like, what more do you want from this man? And I just am at this point where I think all of them across the board have to stop speaking. I said this before. Stop speaking about this process in the negative.
Yeah.
Or like in the future, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I gotta, we back to work now, so it's about to get real.
Yeah.
We had to get out of honeymoon stage, whatever the case may be, and it's like,
just like positive affirmations can fuel you into doing great things, negative affirmations can do the exact same thing. They could push you into the negative place. They could push you into a loss. And the same thing I feel like with Amani, walking around constantly talking about how she looking over her shoulders because she think they gonna go stop. Like, stop talking about it, sis. Like, if you sit down with Pastor Cal, that's one thing. But don't just be every day just say, well, I'm nervous about you doing some messed up stuff. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. And I think that this should also be more a part of their process is like speaking about more of a self-therapy part of the process. Like, these people need to be constantly in counseling because the reality is the only kind of people who's going to sign up for Married, it's going to be a particular population of people that sign up to be on Married at First Sight, right? Can we all agree to that? So you're not going to be like, the one who been in the streets begging everybody, man. You're going to be, or you're going to be that person and been getting dogged out and you tired of that.
Right.
Or you're going to be like, I can't find anybody and I'm tired of that. So you have a certain stink of desperation. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? To even do this. And I really do believe that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, a lot of y'all just need to be bonding on that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be a certain kind of person. Okay, so Deborah says, I think that things are going to change real fast once the COVID comes. Girl, I'm so ready.
Oh, I'm waiting for that episode.
I
can't wait for that episode.
Ready. But two things, okay? And I want y'all to take, this is something that I want y'all to take with y'all too. All those people who single, I don't know how many of y'all on here are single. Raise your hand. Woo, woo. You know what I mean? Not me, but everybody else. Everybody else. But I want to know, I feel like people are getting real clear because people will tell you, oh, I don't need no man. I don't need no woman. I don't know how da. And then COVID came and everybody lonely. It's mad quiet out there.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be at home with yourself. You be like, I don't know myself since I've been myself and I'm tired of myself.
Period.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be myself no more.
Period.
Like, and I think that like this, it's going to be a real telltale thing once we get into that COVID moment. And I am so, that's been a juicy
Or you've been with somebody and it's been easy to avoid the person that you with. For real, and now y'all stuck together and the whole thing is falling apart.
Exactly.
We're seeing that on one of the other shows we watching, the Love in the COVID or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, but y'all should watch too.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
But Fatima says it seems like they get their idea of love and marriage from fairy tales. Let's be clear, that's y'all gotta start reading it.
Oh yeah. I think that's a lot of people.
Oh, I don't think it's exclusive.
I think if we
to
took
them.
a poll, it'd be the majority of the United States.
And people in marriage and relationships is just work. It's just a series of small battles. Mm-hmm. Like marriage and love is war. You know what I mean? And you just constantly overcoming things and just pushing it forward. It's just chess. Like, mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, and Salima said, exactly.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I do think that they got to change and get have a little bit more perseverance.
Yeah.
And I think that they can learn a lot from Bennett and Amelia. And that's why they are my top for this week. Bennett and Amelia, they're going to go far. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, Bennett and Amelia, they good. They still up there, but they firmly in number 2. And we still got Woody and Amani in the catbird seat.
Amani ain't telling Woody nothing, and that's going to be the problem.
Well, Bennett ain't telling Amelia nothing either. They low-key 1 and 1A. For real.
1 and 1A!
They are. Because they having the same struggles. Bennett ain't saying stuff, and he's a super nice guy, but when Bennett get real, stuff's fitting to get rocky because Amelia is moving. Whether Bennett is moving or not, Amelia very nicely with a smile on her face and a bird in her hat.
I'm optimistic.
She's moving. And she low-key wanna tell him, like, motherfucker, I'm moving. And Bennett low-key wanna tell her, all right, that's cool. I ain't going nowhere. So I can't wait till we get to that point.
No, Bennett, wait a minute. Before we leave, I just want to add a list of things that Amelia is. Amelia is a doctor. Amelia is a singer.
She's a
Amelia
songwriter.
is a songwriter.
Amelia
is a jewelry maker. Amelia knows how to walk a tightrope. And I just wanted to give you guys all of that information before we left. I really enjoyed this live. Okay, I love when you guys talk to us, especially about Married at First Sight. It's like one of our favorite shows. Bust down, okay? We about to hop off, but bust down and tell us who is in that number 1 slot for you this week. Okay? So I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us again, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Peace.